I'm very competitive. So the competitiveness of being around out of 40 people, can you become number one? That was my goal. And yes, I became number one out of 40 people. They were given where you can drive a Cadillac or you can get 7,500 if you do X amount of dollars. Can I do that? Yes, I did that. Just the excitement and the competitiveness of doing it and being number one and knowing that you're number one. Hi, my name is Mark Johnson. I've been invested in real estate for over 40 years.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going great.
It's going great. How has your day been so far?
Nice and easy.
I love nice and easy. In your own words, how do you describe what you do to someone who doesn't know anything about real estate?
Well, what you do is you have a conversation with them, talk with them, just kind of let them know the pros and the cons. The best way to explain it is basically showing them, sitting down and having a conversation with them, letting them know the pros and the cons on what it takes to get involved in real estate.
So I just walk up to you and I say, "Hey Mark, I just want to know what it is that you do. What is it that you do?"
I have a compassion for real estate. What I do is I buy, I renovate, and I sell.
Okay. Now, what does buy, renovate, and sell mean?
That means from the buy process, that means to start to finish. Buying, you make your money on the buy-in. And then what you do is you renovate. Renovate meaning that you have all your capital, all your funding ready for the project. And sell means you sell for a profit.
How long have you been in real estate?
Been in real estate for over 40 years.
40 years, that's a long time.
Long time.
Do you remember your first deal?
I do remember my first deal. My first deal was a HUD home that I bought for $4,500 in Detroit, which I renovated and I actually made it my residence.
And do you remember how you felt when you first purchased that home?
It was an awesome feeling. It was like no one can tell me what to do. No one can put me out. I felt like I was home.
I know that feeling. You've been bringing homes back to life for, what's that, multiple decades now. About how many projects would you say you invested in or transformed over the years?
Over the years, I would say I probably invested and transferred probably over 30 homes.
Over 30 homes. That is great. That's a lot of homes. What first drew you to real estate all those years back?
Well, as a young kid, teenager, just picked up a paper, knew that I wanted to buy a house, didn't know how, but picked up a newspaper, saw that there were HUD homes. Started buying my first property, which was a HUD home, and then just started asking questions, getting in contact with different people. Made a great connection in my early 80s with a gentleman that really knew how to buy foreclosures and sold them to me on my contract, and I was on my way from there.
When you bought your first home, do you remember about how much you purchased it for?
$4,500.
$4,500.
$4,500.
And then how much do you think you can get a HUD home for now, just to contrast?
Well, they haven't really been looking into HUD homes, but look like they're up there. They're a lot more than $4,500 now.
Let's rewind the clock back. What kind of neighborhood did you grow up in, and what do you remember most vividly about those early days?
I grew up in kind of a, how can I say it, more of a pretty, I wouldn't say poor, but I grew up in a neighborhood where there was a lot going on. Either you were going to come out successful or you were going to be in bad shape.
What is like your most enjoyable memories you remember from that time?
From that neighborhood is having an alley. Having an alley where you can do multiple things and just being able to walk down that alley and play basketball in that alley. And that's some of the greatest memories I have of my old neighborhood.
Just running through the alleys.
Running through the alleys, yeah.
Every family have its own rhythm. What was the energy like in your household growing up?
It was like, you better go get it, because if you don't get it, you're not going to get it. That was kind of the rhythm. It was like my mother and father gave me that stepping stone, but they really didn't spoon feed me. Basically, this is what we have. If it's not enough, you need to go get it.
Did you have siblings?
I did have siblings. I'm the older of five. I have three brothers and one sister.
As the oldest, did you start to feel like the parent?
I did, and I still feel like the prayer today.
What kind of music was playing in your household when you were growing up? And how did it shape your taste for music later?
Blues, just R&B, old school. And actually, it involved me into falling in love with music and becoming a DJ. So I started DJing in 1979, and I'm a DJ right today.
Do you know about how old you were in 1979 when you first became a DJ?
Absolutely, I was 17.
So you started on an early journey. That's like the beginning of hip hop, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. No, disco. It was kind of disco moving into kind of hip hop. It's kind of a mixture, but I kind of started out in the disco era.
Do you remember your first record that you spent?
Yep. What I fell in love was a blues album called Real Motherfucker by Johnny Guitar Watson.
Okay.
I stole my father's 8-track tape, bought myself a little cheap 8-track, and I played that thing multiple times. And I fell in love with Johnny Guitar Watson. I can sing it, know all the songs on it and everything.
Was that your favorite music when you was a kid, blues?
It wasn't my favorite music. I think my favorite music back in the day was Parliament Funkadelic.
So that's your favorite artist as well?
It was my favorite artist as well.
So what do you think was their best album?
Oh, it was the Mothership Connection, of course.
Why?
Because, man, the album cover, back then, they made them so colorful. And when you bought that album, they gave you a nice big giant poster inside that album.
Okay.
So my bedroom was made up of posters stuck on the wall or nailed on the wall.
That is amazing. Do you remember your favorite song from that album?
Oh, gosh, it was just so many. The Landing of the Mothership, P-Funk, all of it. Sir Knowles, Flashlight, all of them were just great.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to skate a lot, and I used to love skating to Flashlight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that intro was the bomb.
Yeah, that was. Do you remember what your first job was?
Yes, my first job was actually a paper route. I was a paper boy. Probably at the age of 14, rolling the wagon through the streets in the snow. But my first job was actually a paper route.
And what did that teach you about yourself?
It teach me how to earn and save money.
How did it teach you how to save money?
Well, because I loved quarters back in the day. So I had this jar full of quarters, which was used to get dibbled and dabbled in by my siblings without me knowing it. But I just love to save quarters, and I just love knowing that I had my own money and whatever I wanted to buy. If I wanted to buy something, some candy or food or whatever, or snacks, I knew I had the money to do it. So it taught me to work hard to make money to get what I want.
And you said you was 14?
I was 14 with the paper route.
What made you pick a paper route for your first job?
It was the only thing that was available for a 14-year-old. 14, 15-year-old. I mean, any other job, you had to be kind of like 16 or 17 years old. But you can do a paper route at age 14 or 15 back then.
Was there a moment growing up that you feel shaped who you are today? Maybe a challenge you faced or decision you made early on?
I think that what really molded me to be what I am today from back when I was growing up is knowing that, again, I didn't have the things that a lot of the kids in the neighborhood had. And I know to get those things, you had to work hard. The neighborhood, they would set you up for basically failure. And you're going to fall into that group of people that you shouldn't be around, but you're around. But then you had that other group that was a little bit more positive. So I was kind of a mix between the two.
What drew you closer to the positive side?
Looking at what the positive side had versus what the negative side didn't have.
Was there someone, maybe a family member, teacher, neighbor, who believed in you or inspired you to think bigger of your circumstances when you was younger? Yeah,
I had a gentleman that was a friend of mine, stayed next door. He kind of mentored me and kind of showed me a few things, and he was more on the positive side. And there was a couple other people in the neighborhood that kind of held my hand through the way. It pulled me away from the negative, more to the positive.
Looking back, were there any early signs that you would become someone who would build, fix, and create things?
Yes, the early sign was when I got my first job at a lumber yard, and I knew that I was going to be able to build and fix things. That was my start at age 17, working at a lumber yard.
Okay, how did you go from the paper route to the lumberyard?
Well, the lumberyard was graduating high school. They offered a co-op program where the city will pay an employer to hire you. So, of course, I wanted to be close to home because I didn't have a car. I had a bike, and this lumberyard was close to my home. It was probably about 10 minutes away. So I was able to ride my bike to work. So that's why I took that job. Plus, I was really fond of wood shop when I was in school. I used to love wood shop. I used to love making things in wood shop. Learned a lot in wood shop. So transforming over to the lumberyard was really exciting.
Do you remember the first thing you made in wood shop?
Yes, I made it was kind of, I won't call it a paddle, but it was just a square block. You can make it in an angle or whatever and just write whatever you want. Just a piece of wood where you can carve it out or carve something out, your name or whatever.
And from that first block, you knew that you liked woodwork?
I knew I liked woodwork.
What's the favorite thing you built when you was around that age? So I would say like between 14 and 17.
A go-kart.
You built a go-kart?
I built a go-kart.
Let's talk about it.
Go-kart was fun, man. You had to take an engine from a lawnmower. Had a buddy of mine's, and then you would have to take an axle, and you would have to take wheels from a wagon, and you just have to be creative and make it. Of course, man. I mean, hey, we had to do it multiple times over and over again, and you have to get things like a buggy from the grocery store and get some parts off of that. You get parts off a wagon, you get parts off a lawnmower, and just make it happen. Get some wood, some 2x4s, and make it happen.
And how old were you when you made the go-kart?
Go-kart, I would say I made that when I was probably about 15 to 17.
Do you remember how long it took you to make it?
Oh, man, we were just always, we can get one done probably in a week. Sometimes it take a month. It all depends. We made multiple go-karts.
How many go-karts do you think you made?
Probably about 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was it a group of you and your friends?
It was just me and a friend. We used to be in competition with other people in the neighborhood. Everybody was kind of involved in it. It was kind of exciting.
Do you remember the feeling when you built your very first go-kart that actually worked?
Yeah, like, wow, this thing actually worked. It runs. You know what I'm saying? And just riding in it, and of course, sometimes you ride in it, and you go down about a block, and the thing fall apart. But hey, it was exciting.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. When you were a kid, I would imagine you didn't grow up and say, when you were a kid, I would imagine you didn't say, I want to grow up and become an investor. What did you dream of becoming when you were a child?
You know what? I really don't know. All I know is I wanted to make money. I didn't have a particular, I thought about being a fireman. But then again, I just knew that, I don't know. I just knew that I wanted to make money. And I was told back when I was young, selling real estate is a way to make money.
So how early did you know that you wanted to be in real estate?
At age 17.
Oh, okay. So around the time you got your first job at 14, and then you started working in the lumberyard at 17. So right around that time,
I knew I wanted to buy a house. That is correct. Yep.
That is amazing. If I asked your friends and family, whoever's closest to you when you were growing up, to give me one story that perfectly describes Mark Johnson, what do you think that story would be?
Oh, wow. I would say that they would say that he held on to his money and he was cheap. He was very, very frugal with his money.
Is there a story that kind of perfectly illustrates that point?
I can't think of one right at this moment, but there's several stories that, and basically it's my siblings and friends. I was very, very kind of like to myself, kind of like I did have friends, but I wanted to keep my money to myself. You couldn't ask me for any money. I was kind of stingy back then when I was young.
Gotcha. When you're not working or thinking about real estate, what's something that you genuinely love spending time doing?
Music. I love music. Basically just right now, just having fun. You know, I want to get into vacationing. But yeah, that's just enjoying life.
What do you love about music?
Everything, you name it, just the way it make people feel, the different style of music. Just love playing it. Love listening to the bass.
What instruments do you play?
I don't play any instruments. I did try when I was young. I did. Now, wait a minute. I was in a band.
Okay.
We had a band. It was three of us. It was drummer. I played lead guitar, and we had a bass player. And man, I'm going to tell you something. I was no good. And the first song that we played as a band was Boogie, Oogie, Oogie, Till You Just Can't Boogie No More. And I had a simple part on the lead guitar. I mean, I couldn't play, but all you had to do is go ching-a-ling, ching-a-ling, when that cat come, doo-doo-doo, ding-a-ling. And I just let it go.
That just wasn't one of your
It
talents.
just wasn't one of my talents.
So do you do anything? I know earlier you mentioned you was a DJ.
Yeah,
Do you still DJ?
I still DJ. I still DJ.
Do you DJ like at home for fun? Do you DJ parties? Do you DJ like, what is your DJ experience currently?
All of the above. So I DJ at home to practice. I do wedding receptions. I do parties at a church. I do a back to school party. I play just about all kind of music, birthday parties. I love weddings. So I do it all.
Why you like weddings?
Weddings it's just so nice, and it's just looking at how everything is. It's a beautiful setting. And basically, you don't have to really work that hard. It's all about the setup, but they talk most of the way through. And you got that little hour or 2 hours at the end where you have to play music, but just a pretty much easy money.
Got it. See, I like that. That's interesting because most creatives I know, they generally kind of despise weddings, coming from the photographer, sort of videographer side of it.
Yeah.
But I never thought about it from a DJ side of it. You don't have the whole day. You just have the reception.
Right.
There's a lot of talking and eating, and at the beginning you kind of play walk-in music, like
That's it.
And do their thing.
Yeah.
And at the end, I like that. That's funny. I never thought about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Pretty easy.
No, that is pretty good. What is something about you most people may not know?
A lot of people don't know I'm a DJ. I don't carry myself. I guess I don't look like a DJ, but a lot of people don't know that I buy and flip houses. So
Okay, it's funny. I would have thought that everybody knew that you buy and flip houses.
not everybody. Nope, not everybody. Also, a lot of people don't know that I'm in the furniture sales. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So
So what do you do in furniture sales?
I'm a salesperson. Actually, I was a manager, but fell in love with furniture about 15 years ago. Worked for a company called Art Van Furniture and fell in love with just selling, being around people, the connections, and of course the money.
How does one fall in love with furniture?
You just have to do it to experience. Not only that, and it was not only falling in love with furniture, it was more of, I'm very competitive. So the competitiveness of being around, out of 40 people, can you become number one? That was my goal. And yes, I became number one out of 40 people. They were given where you can drive a Cadillac or you can get 7,500 if you do X amount of dollars. Can I do that? Yes, I did that. So just the excitement and the competitiveness of doing it and being number one and knowing that you're number one.
Where do you think that competitiveness come from?
I think at a young age, knowing that in the neighborhood you had to, I was kind of a smaller guy. Mm-hmm. So I would have to do things that, like I was lifting weights. I was kind of building myself up. I had to show that I wasn't scared of the big guy. I'm going to hang around the tough guys. I'm going to hang around the nice guys. And I think that's where it came from. I think it came from I know it came from where I grew up at, the neighborhood I grew up in.
What neighborhood did you grow up in, if you don't mind?
In the Warren, Illinois area. They call it West Warren.
So you was born and raised in Detroit?
Born and raised in Detroit, West Warren.
Have you ever lived outside of Michigan?
No, always stayed in Michigan.
Yeah, so Michigan, true and full. Are you a trifecta Michigan sports fan?
I love it. Yes, absolutely. Always have been.
All right. Got to make sure I ain't gonna have to stop.
No. Yeah, the Tigers, Lions, and the Pistons all the way,
Love it.
and the Red Wings.
Yeah, I want to get to a Red Wings game. I haven't made it to one. I've been to University of Michigan hockey game, but I haven't been to a Red Wings game. And I really want to go to one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever been to a live hockey game?
I've been to a hockey game when I was young. Haven't been in one in years, but when I was little, I was. My friend dad took us to a hockey game,
Oh, okay.
so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was at a place called the Olympia Stadium, and that used to be on Grand River.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they had the wrestling that too. So back in the day, back in the 70s and the late 60s, that's where it was, Olympia Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Actually, getting back to the music part, Parliament Funkadelic, they landed the mothership, a spaceship inside the Olympia. Believe it or not, you can look that up on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
That is,
good.
yeah.
What's a small daily ritual or a habit that helps you keep grounded and joyful?
I would say just getting up, thanking God for waking me up in the morning and seeing what can I do to be productive. I've got to do something in a day. I just can't let the whole day go by.
So you know how the person that can just sit around and watch movies all day?
I can't do it. I could probably do it half of the day, but not all the whole day. I'll give you an example. Excited to come here today. Got up early in the morning and got the grass cut and did little trimming, and then I relaxed.
Yeah.
Got to do something.
So if somebody handed you a completely free weekend, no work, no responsibilities, how would you spend it?
I would have to take a quick trip.
Okay, where would you go?
God, that's a good question. I think I want to experience up north, like the Traverse City area.
Mhm.
So probably take a ride up there. A lot of people say, well, go to Chicago. No, I think I probably want to go up north.
What is it about up north that interests you?
I don't know. That's what I want to find out.
That's the
I heard it was beautiful. Just sightseeing. I want to do some sightseeing.
Who's had the biggest impact on your life or your mindset, and what did they teach you?
I would probably have to say, I would say my stepdad. I would say my stepdad has.
What do you think that he's instilled in you or taught you that's made such an impact on the person that you are today?
To show that he kind of taught me that if you can show me that you're going to do something for yourself, I'll help you. In other words, I'm not going to give it to you, but if you can show me that you're trying, I'll help you. And I've kind of taken that along with me. You know, if you could show me that you're trying, I'll be there for you. If you're not going to try, I'm not going to be there for you.
Yeah, that was my dad too. He used to always say, don't nobody want to help nobody who don't want to help
So
themselves.
that's correct.
That was his favorite line all the time. He said, you got to expect to do everything yourself, and anything anybody else do for you is a bonus. So yeah, that was my dad, true and true. Can you tell me about a time in your life when you were really tested and how you pushed through it?
Yeah. I was tested by most of the guys I grew up in the neighborhood. Remember I told you had that negative part and you had that positive. Well, that negative, as you grew up, those guys either they did drugs or they sold drugs. So to watch the ones that sold drugs, it made me feel like, wow, here they're getting an easy life. Here I'm working my butt off, and here they're not doing nothing, and they've got more than me. So I had to really kind of push my way through that area, because then you say to yourself, do I try that? Do I do that? You know, what's going to happen? And then I had to get back to myself and say, hey, listen, I need to get back to what I know. And what I know is real estate and how to fix things.
And going through that, what do you think that taught you, and how does that carry over to the things that you inside of real estate now?
Just knowing that you can make just as much money legally buying, flipping, and selling homes than you can selling drugs.
And it lasts longer.
And it lasts longer. And you don't get in trouble for
it. What specific skills are you most proud of, and how have they helped shape? I'm sorry again. What specific skills are you most proud of, and how have they helped you shape your success?
Well, I learned over the years on how to do a lot of things as far as with the house. I tell everybody, if you're going to get a house flipping, you have to learn how to do things. I can install faucets. I can put in toilets. What I'm most skilled about is trim work. You can look around and you can see that I do all my trim work. I do all my doors. So there's a lot of things that I learned how to do. Did I make mistakes over the years? Yes. But you ask questions and you keep on going and you watch different people and you learn. But to have the skills that I got as far as fixing houses and the know-how, it's a very important tool to have when you're buying and flipping houses.
It makes a lot of sense. What's been one of the most rewarding projects you've taken on, and what made that project stand out?
One of the major projects is I thought buying a big home. I bought a really big home, and it was very challenging. And I thought bigger means better and more money. But I found out buying the smallest house can make you probably the biggest profit.
So, what made that one stand out is did you kind of put in more work and got in less return?
No, the big house stood out because it was a house that I bought like, wow, back in the day, I can picture this is the type of house I would want to have. You know, it was a nice big Tudor brick home, had a pretty big basement, beautiful garage, beautiful deck. And it was something like back in the day, like, wow, this is something that I would want to own.
Real estate can test your patience, your creativity, and your resilience. Resilience. What's been one of the biggest learning moments on the job?
One of the learning moments of the job is dealing with contractors. You have to be patient. You have to not get bent out of shape. You have to kind of be that bigger person. And so that's probably one of the most challenging things, dealing with the contractors.
So, if somebody was newly doing what you're doing and they was dealing with contractors, what is the tip that you would give them?
Tell them is don't pay all the money. Don't give that half down. And also make sure that the contractor is licensed.
Okay. Why don't get it half down?
Well, because you got to figure if a contractor is a reputable and a licensed contractor, they don't need half down. They should have all the materials. They should have the tools. So you give them a third down. It doesn't have to be half down.
Got it. When you're walking through a home for the first time, what do you look for? What starts sparking your vision?
The layout of the home. You look at the layout. You get that vision. If there's a basement, you look at the foundation, and location is key. Location is key. You want to look at the location of the property. That's very important.
Once you kind of walk through and assess those things, how do you start formulating what you're going to do with the property?
You create that vision, and you come by yourself. You make sure that you're alone, and when you're walking through that property, you kind of get that vision in your head how you want to do things, and then you make it come to life.
Why do you come by yourself?
Because you get to concentrate a little bit more.
Mm.
You have your mind is clear. You don't have no one talking to you, kind of throwing you off. What about this? What about that? Just come by yourself. It's best.
Now, when you walk into a home, so like the home that we're doing this interview right now is a home that you flipped. And I've seen some of the before images. Now it is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful home. But when you see the before images, it looks nothing like this. How do you see something that's raw, burnt down, tore down, all the way to the studs? How do you get that vision and take it from there all the way to something as beautiful as this?
The way you get that vision is, first of all, you got to have money to do it. You got to have money, and you have to have a great team. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to take the appropriate steps to get it done. So you get that vision, you know what you need to have done, you create your budget, you have your contractors in place, and it's going to come exactly like you want it.
Is there anything that's key or any function that's key at the beginning of you developing what that vision is going to be?
The budget. Yeah, how much you're going to spend. What is it going to take?
You've worn different hats in this field. What part of real estate do you feel most connected to, and why?
Part of real estate I feel most connected to is being hands-on, being on the job, knowing what I know through experience, and just being on the job site all the time.
If a 17, 18-year-old kid ran into you randomly, you start telling them about what you do, and they said, hey, I was looking to get into real estate, what are some tips that you would give them?
Take a trade. Learn how to read a tape measure. Surprisingly, that most of our millennials today don't know how to read a tape measure. I can honestly say when I graduated high school, I didn't know how to read a tape measure. I learned how to read a tape measure when I started working at the lumberyard. So my advice is first for a 17 or 18-year-old that wants to get into real estate is first of all, take a trade, learn how to read a tape measure and learn about the different, measurements of wood and everything like that.
What's a detail you always make sure is right in every home you flip? Something that feels like your signature work.
The detail that you want to see, first of all, is the foundation of the home, the bones. You want to see how it's built, how it's laid out. Again, the neighborhood. You want to make sure that you get to know neighbors on both sides of the home and just the structure, the look.
What's a lesson you learned the hard way that could save someone else time, money, or stress?
Doing your homework up front, doing your research, take your time, be patient. If you can't get in the home, go by and look at the outside, survey the neighborhood, not just the one street that the house is on, but go a couple streets over to your left, couple streets over to your right, and just kind of really, really look at things and try to buy homes that's bank owned or not occupied.
To someone who's already in the game, maybe even seasoned, what's something you think gets overlooked but really matters?
Is trying to cut corners, just not doing a great job trying to save money, which will bite them in the end.
Let's say you can flip any property in the world, no budget limit, full creative control. What kind of place would you choose and what would you do with it?
I would choose something that's on a lake. I would love to flip a house that's on a lake that's got a nice water. Buying and flipping something that has water attached to it or near it.
What are some of the things you think you would do? What would be special about it being off of a lake?
Just knowing that you can get a premium price for that.
What would be what would be some key features you would want to implement into this property?
Boat access, maybe a guest house, pool, lake. I just want to have the whole 9 yards.
All right. Imagine I drop you in a brand new city with just $500, your phone, and your skills. What's your first move to start building up your real estate again from scratch?
With $500?
Yep.
New city and a phone.
And your skills.
Got to just get a job and save some money, man. You got to take that $500 and just have to get a job because that's not going to get you started in real estate. I have to be honest.
Okay.
So if you put me in a new state and you give me $500 and a phone, I better have something to go with that $500 if I want to start real estate.
Okay, so if you got a job, then what's your next step?
Is it just try to save money, get a good job where you can save money and just start looking and seeing what you can do and make sure your credit is right. Because sometimes you can buy a home with just $500. You got good credit and you can get the money.
How much do you think somebody should save?
I would say at least 100,000.
Okay. So new city, they have to save up at least 100,000. So they're not getting into real estate for like 2 years at least, huh?
They can do it. They can make it work. But at least 100,000 because you need money to put down and you need money to rehab. But having that, even if you have to take out a hard money loan or something like that, at least you've got something to get started with on your own.
Got it. Okay, let's say your life story is being turned into a movie. What's the title and who would play the lead role?
What would be the title? I would like to play the lead role. I would say how a young kid with a vision and a dream turned it into a reality. How a young kid started out renting and became a homeowner. How a young kid is taking something in a neighborhood that's bad and run down and changing people's lives by giving them a home.
What would be the opening song?
The open song would be Kool Moe Dee, Let's Work.
I like it. If your real estate career had a theme song, what song would it be when you walk into your project site?
Probably For the Love of Money.
I like it. If you could DJ for any artist, past or present, with this or otherwise, who would it be and where would this set take place?
Wow. Well, I'm pretty old school, so I don't think I want to DJ with the new artists because I'm not really into that hardcore hip hop rap. I would say someone like Shaka Khan. Let's see who's around today. I would say Frankie Beverly and Maze because they were good. It was one of my favorite groups. Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, some groups like that, if they were around, I would love to DJ for them.
If you was DJing for Earth, Wind and Fire, what would be your opening song? And what would be your closing song?
It would have to be one of the Earth, Wind and Fire songs. I would say probably September or Boogie Wonderland, something like that.
That'd be your opener or your closing?
Probably the Boogie Wonderland would be my opening.
And then what would be the closing?
And then there would be probably September or something like that would be the closing.
You get front row tickets to one concert in history. Any artist, any city, any era. Who are you seeing? Who are you taking with you and why?
Oh, wow. It would have to be, it would be Parliament Funkadelics. If I can go see them right now, front row seats, take my brother with me because he's kind of old school with me. I would like to take someone that's fun and in that era.
Okay. If we turned your life story into a DJ set, what would be the vibe or genre? What would you start with and what would you end with?
Talking about far as the music?
Mm-hmm.
Start with something that everybody loves. You know, something like Happy Feelings or something by Maze, and then just mix it on up into something a little bit more dance style, and just keep it going. Make the party hype.
Got it. What's something in your life you still want to accomplish that you haven't checked off yet?
Traveling, vacation, seeing the world. Haven't really did too much outside the country.
Do you have a place in particular you really, really want to go?
Africa.
Why Africa?
I just heard about all the good things and all the ancestors and just looking at the history of it.
If someone were to look at your body of work, your homes, your projects, your story, what do you hope they feel or understand about you?
That they will look up and say, I would like to talk to him and I would want him to give me some advice because I love helping people.
What drives you to keep doing this work? What's the why that fuels everything that you do?
I think I do it more for the passion of it instead of the money, more of knowing that I can invest in something that's bad and just turn it into something beautiful, and just looking at all the work that I've done and be proud of myself of what I've done and how things look, and knowing that, hey, I own this.
Where can folks who may want to work with you or support you, where can they follow you or connect with you?
Facebook.
And last question. When your kids or grandkids talk about you one day, what do you hope they say?
My dad and granddad was a hard worker and he knew how to make money.
Perfect. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
You're welcome. Anytime.